Good morning and welcome to Therapy Tuesday right here on The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is from the therapy room, psychologist Dr. Geraldine Tan. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning, and my mic is fixed.
Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah.
All of us were stressed out because of you last week. I had to go see a psychologist right after the show.
Did you now?
Yeah, I lost a few hair strands, man.
But it's all good today.
It is. It's wonderful, and I think everybody can hear me loud and clear.
Yes.
And happy International Women's Day, Jerry.
Yay! Happy International Women's Day, everybody.
Fantastic. So today you're talking about psychological empowerment.
Yes, we are. But before we go into that, I think I want to just send all my love and blessings to the people in Ukraine, because this morning I was hearing something really, really sad, and I have to share it because it was just so much for me this morning. It was a father, and he said that he suddenly heard the bomb going off. He turned, he saw his two children in the air. One moment they were alive, and now they are dead.
Yeah.
That was what he said.
Where did you hear about this?
I was driving and I was listening to the news, so
Okay.
a bit guilty that I wasn't listening to all of you, but I wanted
No,
to
of course
catch the
not.
news, and I heard that, and my heart broke, and I was just glad that I was alone in the car. Yeah. So
Yeah.
sending all the love and blessings to all of them.
It is very sad. I'm following a Ukrainian girl on Instagram. She's got quite a big number of following, and she had not posted for about 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
And she posted about her and her son having to flee as well, and them having to leave the husband behind because of martial law.
Yeah.
Because the men have to stay behind to fight,
can't
right?
leave.
So they had to live out of their car and all that, head to the border and get across, and it's just very, very sad.
This is ridiculous, no? There should be no wars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There should be no more wars.
Yeah.
absolutely.
It is senseless. It is senseless, but just wanting to send them, send all of that to them first. If we cannot send anything and we don't have, time and space and whatever to go and help them, I think we should send them love and blessings.
What is actually happening, and quite interesting, I read this too, people are booking Airbnbs in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
And just to help support the people
Right.
there. They're just
Yeah.
booking Airbnbs
Wow.
and not staying,
Okay.
Wonderful.
All right.
All right. Let's move on to happier things.
Yeah, psychological empowerment. That's always great.
Psychological empowerment. And it came about because, we are talking about International Women's Day and women. And I think Angel was asking, why not just talk about women today? And I was like, yeah, but my son, reminded me. He's like, what is this gender inequality here? Why is it unequal? He said, if you believe in yourself, why are you looking at inequality? Why are you doing that divide? And I was like, oh wow, that is so true. So let's talk about empowerment for everybody.
How old is your son again?
He is 14.
Wow,
That's
well
brilliant.
done,
Nice.
well
Brilliant.
done.
For a 14-year-old, that's brilliant.
Nice.
I
You're
don't know
raising
what
him well.
they are teaching them in school. I didn't do anything. I don't
Of
know what
course
they're
you
teaching
did.
them
Of
in
course you did.
No, but I mean, it's absolutely true. You know what he said, because that's what we're moving towards, right?
Yes.
Yes.
To not distinguish whether someone is a man or someone is a woman. It's equal.
Yeah.
We are working towards
We're
equality.
working towards it, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why International Women's Day exists, because we're not there yet. So there still needs to be a day to kind of bring up all these issues about inequality and stuff like that. Because a lot of countries are still not there.
I know a lot are. I can't understand it because women have done so much.
Exactly. And women make the world go round.
Absolutely.
Without us, there is no
Yeah.
future.
Yeah, but there's still many women and many men, who want to separate the genders.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
So that's the fight we're in right now.
True.
To try and bridge that gap.
Okay.
Okay, so psychological empowerment for all then.
for all, and we can always look at the different genders, and you can bring it up later on. That's no issue. I think we embrace our gender.
All right.
Okay.
Love it. We'll continue to talk to Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room on The Big Show TV. In the meantime, here's Michael Jackson. Remember the Time on 1FM 91.3.
I was asking Angel this earlier this morning before you came on. Empowerment. Doesn't it start with yourself?
It does. It's taking control, knowing what is your own meaning in life. So it's again very big, very broad, and making those decisions for yourself based on what you want.
Okay. Isn't this a bit dangerous? Because some people may think very highly of themselves, may have very different things on their minds, may feel like extremely empowered. One such person is Vladimir Putin.
Yes.
And see what
100%.
he's doing right now. So how do you control it, Jerry?
I suppose it's how you're going to use it. So we're not talking about, arrogance. We're not talking about the people that are so self-absorbed. We're looking at building our resilience. So it flows into that self-resilience. It flows into being more effective in our work because we believe in our work and we are motivated and excited about our work. So though it would move in that direction rather than I'm arrogant, I am above everyone.
So empowerment to do good, but I mean, people like what I hate to go back to what's going on in Russia, but someone like Vladimir Putin would think that what he's doing is good for the greater world.
Because he's in politics, right? That's his job.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So I mean,
as opposed to our job, which is just radio presenting.
Yeah.
So
which is no less important because it's all relative on the grander scheme of things. But I mean, like, how do you draw the line whether you're using your empowerment for good or not?
evil.
Yeah, or evil.
I think then that moves into that whole personality, the direction, because you're right. He feels very empowered. So whether he feels empowered only just within himself, in the community, and then he acts out his whatever that he thinks is right for him. Yeah, and he has the skill. So later on, I'll look at the triangle also.
Oh wow, okay.
Are there different areas to empowerment when it comes to people?
So I think we were talking about the different areas of empowerment. One of the papers for women was talking about the spiritual, political, social, economic strength of empowerment. Yeah, so the different areas that we can look at, because if you look at being socially empowered or politically empowered, so that will be Putin, right? He's very politically empowered, spiritually empowered. There are different things that you can do, different things that you can work towards and do very well in. So you become very competent in those areas and you become, you do very well in them. So those are interestingly different areas that, one of the research papers have highlighted.
Okay. So I think the right mindset, is always very, very important. As a starting point, right? Because if you're not in a good place and you start having delusions of your abilities and stuff like that, and all of a sudden, you start focusing on empowerment, that's where maybe things might go off a little bit.
Where does empowerment come from, Jerry?
What do you mean where it comes from?
I mean,
As in,
is it something that you can teach someone? Is it something you can gift someone, or is it something that you're born with
Yeah.
or you grow up with? You know, like is it an innate sort of thing?
Because if you keep on thinking about empowerment, you know, the principles of empowerment,
Like, I
and all
have
that,
power, that's the
then it's almost
difference,
like you're
right?
forcing it. You know
Yeah,
what
exactly.
I mean?
Yeah. So
Exactly.
where exactly does it come from?
majority is from the environment. So if you look at the triangle, right? So the psychological empowerment, there are three different parts to it. And there is the behavioral part, which looks at the community. That means what you do in that whole community, at your workspaces. The interpersonal, that part is more innate, where it's your own motivation, how you see yourself. And then there's the interactional part, which is building your skills. So that part you can actually build up on. So two parts you can actually build up. One part is more personal.
Yeah, because I'm sure there are people out there now watching us and listening to us who just feel that no matter what they do, they are not empowered. What do you say to someone like that? Because of the environment they're in, they feel very unempowered.
So the good news is that you can actually build it up. You can actually look at it and ask yourself, do I have the skills? So if I want to be able to do something and be competent in something, do I have the right tools? Do I have the right skills? Can I build the skills up? Because that would then give me the confidence and permit me to be empowered to try more, practice more, and be even better at it.
We're always talking about empowering our children. I mean, especially when it comes to girls, right? How do we bring them up in an environment where we can empower them to be empowered?
I knew you were going to ask me the question.
And you have the answer.
So again, going with the skills, right? If we want the children to even do a simple thing, go up to the kopitiam uncle to or auntie to buy a meal for themselves, we need to teach them the skills. We cannot just tell them go and buy.
Yeah.
It's impossible. They will look at you and go, I'm scared.
Yeah.
And then they're scolded for being scared, but actually they're not scared.
They don't have the
just don't
skills.
know how to tell you, I don't know how to do it.
Okay, hold on.
ask the
Okay, we're going to go
question
back
again.
on air, and then Angel will ask you that question once again. Good morning and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Once again, we are going to be flashing a question on The Big Show TV. Up for grabs, a pair of tickets for Urban Sonic Music Festival Retro Edition worth $116. 8 bands performing over the weekends of the 18th and 19th of March and the 25th and 26th of March down at Scape, the Ground Theatre. All right. We've got John Molina with Kruger and the Shaggies performing on the 19th of March, and the tickets we'll be giving away today will be for the 19th of March for that performance. All right. So watch out for the question, which will be flashed across the Big Show TV in just a while. Right now, we're talking to Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. Good morning once again, Jerry.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Jerry. So today we're talking about psychological empowerment. And when we mention that, we usually talk about men and women being empowered. But before men and women become men and women, they need to be boys and girls. So how do we bring up children to be empowered?
So earlier I was talking about the triangle, and one of the areas would be the interpersonal, which is within themselves. That part is a little bit tougher to teach, and we need to create the awareness. Then we have the interactional, which is the skills part. We can build up the skills. And then the last part would be how we interact with the community, which is the behavioral part. So 3 parts. So if we are talking about the children, I was saying that, if we want the children to do something, we need to teach them the right skills. If we just take that component of the skills, because very often we assume they know and we tell them to go and do it. And then they tell us they're scared. So the example I was giving, was to go up and even buy a bowl of noodles for themselves, from the store holder. But if they don't know how to do it, we assume they will tell us that they are fearful. Instead of, I don't know how to go about doing this task.
It's interesting because I always thought that I still think communication is a very big part of empowerment. And that's one of the first things we taught our kids. So we used to have these discussions about family, about how we parented, what they felt of our parenting skills. And they were allowed to speak. Is that empowering your children in a way?
That is letting them know and explore where the boundaries are, which is another part of empowerment. Because they need to know what they can or cannot do, what is comfortable and not comfortable. And then they know how to gauge from themselves, like if people are being mean to them. So it helps in bully proofing your child even. So when you empower your child, they learn how to stand up to the bullies. They learn how to say no. They learn how to put in boundaries for themselves, which is essential for anyone.
Right. That's why we talk about female empowerment.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. So they stand up for themselves. They're more independent. They're a bit more aware when they're being taken advantage of.
And boys as well, because what you just said gave me a thought that giving a child or a person a voice is a way of empowering them, right? But I remember in school there was always you weren't encouraged to ask questions. Only ask if you have a smart question. There is such a thing as a stupid question. So that's not a way of empowering kids, but it also has to go into the schools and the education system, right?
So the environment does help also. So when we deal with the environment, how we deal with the environment, how the environment manages us will also indicate to us whether they have clipped our wings or whether we have a space to grow.
Okay. So despite what they teach you in school, if you are empowered, you will be able to still have a voice outside of that space.
Correct.
And an opinion. Okay.
Which is why, FD was telling us a story about how the Ministry of Education here has done away with mid-year exams
And a lot
stuff
of
like
other
that,
things,
so that kids will have more time to reflect and to take up martial arts classes.
No.
Protect us.
The idea behind
sorry.
taking exams away is so that they will get more involved in the process of learning.
Right.
The process.
Or
of
they can do nothing at all.
They can do nothing
sit
at all,
down
yes.
and relax.
That's what separates the world, right? Give you some time. Are you going to do nothing at all, or are you going to learn?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what literally separates society. Right?
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all, or learn
chill.
something. Yeah.
Just chill out for a change.
In school, they won't do that. They'll make you clean the classroom.
Right, with those extra 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's why.
Scrub it down.
Which is why I was blown away when FD gave us that bit of news today. I'm like, what's happening to the Ministry of Education? They become very cool now.
I think our education minister is awesome.
It's interesting because
You keep on saying Education Minister, but you don't know his name.
Chan Chun Sing.
Okay, that's good. Say his name, lah.
But there are lots of people behind him as well that make up. It makes up
It's
a
an
team.
entire
It's a
ministry.
team.
No,
yeah.
I believe it's just him.
It's an entire ministry.
Mr. Chan,
All right.
did you hear that? You heard what I said? It's all you.
Oh wow! You're looking in the camera as well. Okay. All right.
He's gonna be on the show real soon, right? You
At some
know
point,
that, right?
At some point.
Don't forget to tell him
that
what
it
FD
was-
said.
We'll
Okay.
play this back for him.
And it was you that said you like.
It's all him. Okay, we'll continue to talk to Jerry on the Big Show TV. Right now, here's Pink, Just Like Fire on one.
I have a worry with children getting empowered these days because they spend so much time on social media.
That's where the power comes from.
No.
Yes.
Sure.
Is my worry is the empowerment may be wrong.
Don't be afraid.
I am afraid for some of the
It's
younger
out.
ones.
It's there.
The FD tends to worry about the world.
I do.
He
I
does
do.
though. He does
I do.
though.
I think it's also for children, they have not learned how to set their own goals. So as parents, we teach them how to set goals, right? So it's not about giving them complete control. I don't think that's what we mean for the children. For the adults, yes, but not for the children, because the parents still have that responsibility to draw that boundary or teach them boundaries for themselves. Because if you permit them, they would eat like McDonald's every day, play, computer 24/7, and not study at all. They won't educate themselves because there's no need to do that. They were not taught that it is a necessary action. So for children, it's slightly different. So for the adults, when we talk about empowerment, they already have set their goals and they're frustrated because they cannot get to their goals. Therefore, they are trying to build up this part for themselves.
Yeah.
Is there a gender divide when it comes to empowerment?
I'm going to throw that back to Angel. Do you think there is? Or
Yeah, no, I think that still is.
there is.
Despite it being
there is.
2022, my goodness. Despite it being 2022, I absolutely think there still is a gender divide. Whether in the workplace or in the home or in society. I mean, women have been, I know it's growing towards a more balanced society, but women have always been seen and treated as lesser than, not as smart as, not
Yeah.
as capable as. It is.
It's true.
That.
It is what it
yeah.
is.
And
Yeah.
I will come out and say that I think a lot of this is because, and this is my opinion only, is because not all, a lot of men out there are insecure.
Yes, I totally agree with
Okay.
that.
It's very good that FD should say that because he's living in a household full
Full
of
of
women.
estrogen, yes.
He'll come in blue and black tomorrow morning. If he says anything else.
I really believe that.
Yes.
I believe
But
this.
jokes aside, I think Angel is absolutely right. There is a divide for sure, and over the years, I think us guys, right, we've not made it any better because we would not give women face, not so much as men do now. Now men will think twice,
Yeah.
before saying anything to a lady.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think sexist.
So and I think that's the way it should be, because in the past, right? I mean, they would just, let's say, tell a woman off. I think that's a very ungentlemanly thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, women would then feel a little scared, and in future they'll keep quiet, and that's what has been the problem over the years, right? We always say, women are, they
Don't
they
speak
hold
until
back.
spoken to.
No, just
In a professional environment, that is.
yeah,
Yeah.
even in a
At
professional
home, no,
world.
different. At home, women have been, the queens of the household for many years. But I'm talking about in a professional environment, right?
Yeah.
These days, when a woman speaks, everybody listens. In
Yeah.
the past, not so much.
Not so much.
But I mean, a good example would probably be if, let's say, say FD and Glenn were having a conversation, and Glenn says, "Oh yeah, I heard this from a friend that this particular method of whatever works." And then the conversation goes, "Yeah, oh, but who's your friend?" And then if they find out it's a woman that this piece of advice has come from, and they're like, "Oh yeah, okay, she doesn't know what she's talking about."
Right. In the past, it used to be like
It
that.
happens a lot, though. It still happens a lot. That
Huh?
people,
Now?
that people have to ask the gender of the source.
Yeah, you shouldn't
What's
have
the
to.
point of? It's the same as racism. Why ask the gender of a friend or a person that you know when that has nothing to do with anything?
Yeah.
People are like, oh, your friend Chinese or or Indian or okay,
doesn't
that
matter.
explains it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? People do that.
You still hear that.
You still do hear
You
that a
still hear
lot.
that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I
I
don't
thought
think
that's
it's so
over.
much of the gender, but rather that people are judgmental. So you've just said it. It doesn't matter whether it's gender, whether it's race, whether it's nationality, whether it is old, young, or whatever it is. When there is a label, people judge.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's interesting because when my son highlighted why you're creating that divide for yourself instead of embracing each, whether you are male, female, tall, short, whatever race it is. And I was like, yeah, he's just drawing out that everybody have their own perceptions and own judgments, and if we hold on to that and we believe in that, then we intrinsically create that inequality within
Yeah.
ourselves. So the person has that ownership to manage your own perception. If not, you create the inequality. I cannot tell someone not to do it, but I can teach myself not to do it. So
Yeah.
that is also empowerment. I do not make myself the victim. I give myself the choice to be empowered to deal with the situation.
So does this mean that, I mean, because we love going to clubs and pubs and, and when things open up, we'll all be going to party again. Remember, there used to be ladies' night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still have.
So maybe, yeah,
There's still ladies'
really?
nights. Yeah, there's
No,
still
but-
ladies'
for
nights.
bars lah.
For bars, there are still
So
on.
should we do away with that? Because I mean,
Yeah,
we
but
don't
they
need
pay
that
more.
anymore.
It's true,
Ladies'
yeah.
night, they pay more.
Wait,
It could
they
just-
pay more, men
Yeah.
pay less.
Yes.
I know the objective is to attract more women so,
So that
the
they attract
guys
more
would
men.
come.
Yes, yes. That's,
But yeah, it doesn't sound right anymore.
I never go to ladies' night. I mean, I'm one of those ladies who don't.
And,
Who
and
Am I
doesn't
right?
do
It,
that.
it doesn't sound right
No,
anymore.
yeah,
the
yeah.
point is, why create a ladies' night when you could just create a theme tonight?
A night.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Call
a
it
night
something.
out. Yeah.
Call it anything.
Yeah.
True.
No, I agree. I agree.
Anyway,
Yeah.
everything go back on air first.
Yeah.
Bye.
Good morning and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. All week, we will be giving away tickets to the Urban Sonic Music Festival all of this week, okay? This is the retro edition because there will be other editions of the Urban Sonic Music Festival organized by IMC Live Global, and we thank them for these tickets for our 1FM fans. So once again, we are giving away the pair of tickets to Urban Sonic Music Festival Retro Edition worth $116 right here on The Big Show TV. So listen out, or rather, look out for the question which will be flashed on The Big Show TV.
Very soon.
Yes.
Very, very soon. Very soon. Okay, we're speaking to Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room.
Good morning, Dr. Jerry.
Morning.
And we're talking-
I
yeah.
thought it was a very light topic, but it turns out to be a very heavy topic.
But I just want to say one thing. What a great young man you're bringing up in your son.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, his perception of this whole International Women's Day, why are we even dividing it up like that? I think it was absolutely, for a 14-year-old young man to be thinking that way, that just goes up to prove that he's going to be a fantastic husband and father.
I hope so, and I want to thank all the educators that are teaching my son too.
Yeah.
They have done a great job.
Great job. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so speaking of gender divide, we were talking about that on the Big Show TV about empowerment. Is there a gender divide, and what can we do about it if there is?
So my stand is the divide comes from within ourselves rather than the environment does cause it, but we can do something about it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So when we empower ourselves, we empower the individual. But it is also important to surround ourselves with people that treat us as equals too. So I'm glad that I'm here with Glenn, Angel, FD, and Shaun.
Yay! We always enjoy our Therapy Tuesdays with you, Dr. Jerry.
I love it. I look forward every week. Yeah. But that's where all of you, are so embracing and so without color. I mean, you give your opinions, but without color.
Jerry, we're talking about empowerment, and I hate to do the divide again, but women being more empowered. It's International Women's Day. I have heard this from women. I've heard this from women when I say, why don't you step up? Why don't you step up and do this?
Women saying that to men?
No, I'm asking them.
Right, women.
And
right.
they go, what's the point? I'm not going to get anywhere.
So they
What do
have
you say?
simply
What do you say to someone like that?
Yeah, so they have basically disempowered themselves. And unless they know what to do, they would not know any way around it, because it's almost like a resignation to fate. Oh, I can't do anything about it. And it is not in their purview to set any other goals, because they have no goals to hit. So unless they are able to see, unless FD, when you tell them, you say, okay, maybe you can just try this, and it's a very small, reasonable sort of goal, they might try it.
So
Otherwise, no worries.
So it's the same analogy that you gave as the kid going up to buy their food, because you have to teach them
Right.
the skills to be able to do it. Same thing with what FD just said. If they don't have the skills or they don't know how to do it, then they obviously will not be empowered to make a change.
Sorry, Jerry, before you jump in, but my point is, if I go to a lady and I go, why don't you step up and do this? Why? Don't you see that I obviously see you as someone who can do this, who's empowered enough to do this?
Or maybe you're just
But
trying
you're
to get
just
into
one
a pants.
person. Oh dear.
I'm sorry, I just ended doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say,
You're
Jerry?
being very nice to the
I
lady.
get
You're
it.
making.
So you are there in the environment that treats them as an equal, but they don't treat themselves as an equal because they feel that they are lacking in some areas. So that is what the internal part, the intrapersonal part, they need to build up. If they see value in it, if they do not see value in it, even if we push them, they would not move.
How do I help them then?
But one person, it's very hard for just one person to do it. The environment needs to be all encompassing, right?
When you come across a woman, just leave her alone.
No.
Leave her alone. She already has a
because-
boyfriend. or something.
No, because I see that
Potential.
the potential for growth. I see her becoming a leader. I see her, I see more than I
Yeah,
see
but she's
now.
also probably, quite pretty. Because, if she were ugly, you wouldn't bother.
No, that's got nothing to do with it.
FD is like a Mr. Fix-It, He feels like he needs to fix everything. Right? Including women.
just like men. There's some men who, who are a little weak, and there's some ladies who are, a little weak.
Would
as
you
well.
call it weakness though, Jerry?
Is it weakness?
Oh my God!
Would you call it
See,
weakness?
when I keep quiet, that's when I'm most dangerous.
Yes.
When not-
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
That's why we're keeping quiet.
Oh no!
But I also said there are weak guys, what? So it's okay, what? There are weak guys, there are weak women, what?
There was no gender divide there.
Exactly.
Weak people.
Okay, let's ask Jerry this question. So how do I help that person? What do
So
I
one
do?
last area of how you can empower yourself, right, is to actually give back to the community. Because remember, I said the community can help, but it is not only them helping you. You need to help the community. So where you see your role in the community, you start to even grow yourself. So how you can help the other person is to give this person a role. So what it does is they can give back, they can practice, and they can learn where they are, how to develop the skills, or if they're lacking in skills, what skills to acquire if they want to. So that is a beautiful circle that is created when you empower yourself.
See, this is just a different time. FD, if this happened during your time, like maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago, or whatever, you would ask this lady whom you are trying to empower, right, to be your secretary.
Oh.
But now you can't do that
We know
anymore.
what happened with that, right?
Thanks, Angel. Really, thank you.
Oops.
Are we live?
Yes.
Oh, I thought we were on Facebook,
No.
where these things happen. I'm sorry about that. Okay, let's very quickly play a song right
Yes.
now and continue this
Yes.
conversation on The Big Show TV. Hey, coming up, your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Urban Sonic Music Festival Retro Edition worth $116. Here's Madonna, True Blue on 1FM 91.3.
Coming on.
Got a headache already.
I can see the pink from here.
Oh,
Blush.
yeah,
you can,
absolutely.
she can see it as well. Okay. All right. Okay.
I see the question. When will the Urban Sonic Music Festival Rock Edition take place?
All right. Answer that question on our Facebook page now.
Do you know the answer, Jerry?
She doesn't listen to you.
Yeah.
Do you know the answer to that?
Do you know the answer, Jerry? It's right next to you, actually. The escape thing is right next to you. You can go
Down
for
the
that.
road,
Yes,
yeah.
it is. I think it's the 20-something weekend.
Can
Wrong.
I
Yeah.
give you?
25th and 26th. That's
One of the weekends.
one of the weekends. One of the weekends.
So we're giving away even if they get one date, correct?
Yes.
no,
one-
you need
oh.
2 weekends, 18th and 19th, and then 25th and 26th.
Well done, Glenn.
Answers.
No, but we see who's the first one that actually type it out. lah.
And
Yeah.
listen to what Glenn just said.
So far, no, only one answer.
What did I say?
You mean
Nothing.
you were talking about the weekends that are happening next weekend, right? And then the weekend after as well.
Yeah, but we are live on Facebook now,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
oh yeah, this is also for the people.
Yeah,
who
this
are
is for the people
watching
that are
us.
watching. Only for the people that are watching.
Luckily, I only mentioned once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Anybody?
We got a lot of answers, but okay, finally, Christopher, first
Okay,
one.
Christopher.
Congrats.
Yeah,
Well done,
Christopher what?
Christopher.
Christopher what?
Christopher Mark.
Walking
Christopher Mack?
Mark.
Mark.
Christopher Mark. Congratulations.
You've won those tickets.
Yes, indeed. The Urban Sonic Music Festival will be happening over 2 weekends, the 18th and 19th of March and the 25th and 26th of March, featuring 8 bands. I should go through the 8 bands
if you
very
wanna,
quickly.
Yeah, let's go.
Sherlyn and the Unexpected, Jive Talking, John Molina with Kruger, The Shaggies, Jack and Ray, Supersonic, The Bushmen, and Nation One.
It'll be great. 70s and 80s music.
Retro.
Great throwback to retro.
So cool. So cool.
All of us are going to
Put
be
on
there.
your leg warmers.
We'll be partying with Dr. Jerry as well.
Yay!
Can you imagine Dr. Jerry dancing?
No, I can't.
Absolutely,
I
I
can.
can.
Can you really?
Absolutely,
I
I
can.
can.
I can as well.
Do you like dancing, Dr. Jerry?
Line dancing.
Do you like
I
dancing?
love dancing.
Yay!
So my base was in Chinese dance, and then I
Oh.
did modern dance. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
you learned it.
Yeah.
Oh, we better stand far
Modern
away
dance.
That's why.
then.
Yeah, I don't know what dance that is, but
That's a new dance. It's called the epileptic fit.
There.
Yeah, that's a rain
So
dance, lah. That's why every day raining.
Because I'm on a chair, that's why.
Sure.
If I stand up, you can't see me. Right?
So, Jerry, we've been talking about psychological empowerment and people who and how to what you should be doing. Someone who doesn't feel empowered, someone who has a problem gaining empowerment,
Yep.
should they see someone like you for help or what?
if they are feeling very broken, I would say just sit with someone neutral. So it can be a counselor, it can be a psychologist. You don't need a diagnosis. So, just a counselor or psychologist would do. And just fine tune. I call it fine tuning, clear the cobwebs and just fine tune yourself. And you feel a little bit better, having a little direction. In fact, for those that didn't hear all that we say, the entire, half an hour or more, I've got a little exercise for everyone to take away during the week.
Okay.
So there are only 3 things that I would like all of you to try. One is to smile.
Smile.
Everybody's like taking notes.
Yes.
Yeah, you're giving us homework.
Smile.
I'm not taking notes. Smile, okay.
Smile. you just, release all the correct chemicals within yourself.
Yeah.
You lift your mood up. That's the positivity that we want, right? When we empower ourselves. So
But you know why
stop.
some people don't smile, Jerry? You know why? Bad teeth. That's why.
Oh,
You can smile without teeth.
Sorry
I
about
thought you were going to say Botox, but anyway.
Okay, go on.
And then two more. So kindness to yourself. So say something kind to yourself. And kindness to others. Say something nice to one other person. So three things. And you have to do it every day. These are really, really simple. But as with any psychological homework, you do need to do it every day. They are simple, but it has to be consistent.
And you say
Okay,
like,
there
whoa,
you go.
your fart is real stinky, but I still love you.
That's kind.
I just said that the other day to Biscuit.
Oh,
We were watching TV together and it was the stinkiest. Oh my goodness. But then I hugged him and I went like, you know what? I
I still love you.
still.
And he let another one.
I'm about to what do you call lose consciousness right now, but I still love you, my little boy.
That's called being kind to others. Well done,
There
Ken.
you
done.
go.
Well done. You said it with a smile as well.
And the next
There
time
you
you
go.
fart, you can hug yourself and say the same thing.
Stop talking about farts, lah. So
You
disgusting.
started
Someone
it.
might be having breakfast now, no.
Ew,
did I start?
gross.
Did I
Yes,
start?
you did actually. Yeah, you did.
I'm losing my mind a little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Right. Speaking of which, you want to make a donation to 1fm.sg/dementia.
Glenn.
I mean, I just
Will help
remembered.
lah.
Not something we wish on anybody, but yes, it's there.
Okay, Jerry, thank you very much. Oh, you've got some
Final
last
words,
words.
yeah.
Yes.
Always.
Yes. So talking about, that to encapsulate what we spoke about today, it's just a little quote from Edith Wharton, and she says there are two ways of spreading light: to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it.
That's
like
nice. I used to
Nice.
read in it Blyton quite a bit.
It wasn't.
It's
It wasn't
not
in it, Blyton.
Oh, what do you say? Who was it?
Edith Wharton.
Oh,
His brother.
Completely in it is a girl. Can somebody completely different? Yeah.
It is different. It is okay. It doesn't matter. The quote is there are two ways of spreading light: to be the candle or the mirror to reflect it.
nice.
Nice.
Very
Love
nice.
it.
Thank you so much, Jerry. I'll see you next week on our date.
See you next week.
All right. You take-
Yeah. Remember 1:00 on Wednesday. We all know where you
Yes,
go.
yes. But things happen first before Wednesdays.
That is
right?
true, actually.
That's
That is true.
true,
So
yes.
see you on Tuesday.
Yes.
So I got a shock. I was like, huh?
Take care, Jerry.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya. Say hello.